This week was another pivotal one for Seth Rollins and his newly formed faction, which includes Bron and Paul Heyman. Things heated up when Sami Zayn interrupted Seth Rollins' segment, calling everything Seth had said a bunch of nonsense. Sami wasted no time in accusing Seth of being jealous of what CM Punk and Roman Reigns had built and suggested that's why Seth created his own faction in the first place. Seth, clearly hurt by Sami's words, responded by telling Sami that if he wasn't going to stand with them, then he would become a target. Seth then took it a step further, offering Sami a special free pass to leave Raw unharmed. Seth and Paul Heyman made Sami a tempting offer. They'd get him traded to SmackDown, where he would instantly become the #1 contender for the WWE title. Or Sami could stay on Raw and face the consequences of defying Seth and Bron. But Sami turned down the offer. He wasn't going to take the easy way out. Instead, he chose to stay on Raw, which led to him being absolutely destroyed by both Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker to close out the show. This sequence of events really added some layers to Seth's new faction. Although Seth is clearly playing the heel in this situation, it's important to note that he did make an attempt to offer Sami a way out of this conflict without harm. However, Sami's refusal only escalated the situation, and it seems Seth, Bron, and Heyman are determined to make their dominance known on Raw. What Seth and Bron did to Sami also sends a strong message to the rest of the locker room. This is the second week in a row that Seth, Bron, and Heyman have stood tall over the company's biggest stars, leaving no doubt that they are now the dominant faction on Raw. For any superstars who are thinking about standing up to Seth the same way Sami did, they're likely reconsidering their stance after witnessing Sami's destruction. The sheer brutality of what happened to Sami will surely make others think twice before challenging Seth and his group. With the way things are unfolding, it seems like there might be more superstars who want in on what Seth is building. Seth's faction is already looking strong with him at the helm. Bron is his enforcer, and Paul Heyman playing the role of the wise mentor. The possibility of bringing in new members is a very real one, and it could add even more firepower to the group. It's clear that Seth is not just interested in leading a small faction, but in creating something much bigger, and it's becoming evident that he may have even bigger plans in mind. Sami's comparison of Seth's current faction to the early days of the Bloodline is telling. He pointed out how Seth's faction mirrors the dynamics that made the Bloodline so effective. Seth is the leader, Paul Heyman is the wise counsel, and Bron is the enforcer. If Seth is indeed drawing inspiration from the Bloodline, it's almost certain that he will continue to add more members to his group, just as Roman Reigns did with the Bloodline. This raises the question, who else could join Seth's faction? There's a lot of potential for new alliances and recruits, and the possibilities are endless. In a surprising twist, The Rock recently teased that a certain someone, whom he referred to as the company's Superman, had sent him a text message offering to sell his soul whenever The Rock wanted it. While The Rock didn't name the person directly, it's worth noting that he has previously referred to Seth Rollins as the company's Superman. This could mean that Seth himself reached out to The Rock, looking to form an alliance and get him on board with what he's doing. This would be a huge development for Seth's faction, as having The Rock involved would elevate the group to an entirely new level. Looking at Seth's journey over the past year, it's clear that he has undergone a significant transformation. At WrestleMania 40, Seth was standing in the ring with The Rock in a high-profile match. But now, just a year later, Seth is trying to recruit The Rock to join his faction. This shift in dynamic shows how far Seth has come in terms of his character evolution, and it hints at even more dramatic changes ahead. Overall, Seth's new faction continues to look extremely promising, with the potential for new recruits and the possibility of alliances with major stars like The Rock. The sky truly seems to be the limit for what Seth is building. As the weeks go on, it will be interesting to see how far Seth is willing to push his new faction and how the rest of the WWE locker room responds to his growing power. Fans are clearly invested, and with the way things are progressing, Seth's faction is poised to be a dominant force for a long time to come. What are your thoughts on these developments? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.